Karen and
Pluto.
here for Karen and Bluto's Not Another Review channel with another movie review. And I'm going to apologize real quick. Our other reviews we've done tonight, Bluto's got a little bit of a cold, and my sinuses, allergies, all this fun stuff's going on. So if we start coughing, sneezing, or I'm drinking water, I apologize. So on to our feature presentation tonight. We watched Unfriended, Dark Web, rated R. It was like an hour and 35 minutes, 2018. I thought we saw the first one, but I confused it with another movie.
You do that a lot.
So, well, there's so many like along this lines. I'm going to say up front, I did like this movie. I was kind of surprised. The big thing I would say with this is if you don't want to basically be watching a computer screen on your TV
and reading it
and reading along with it,
my eyes aren't that good.
You probably won't like this. Because actually, I was originally, the way our living room's set up here, I'm actually facing the direction our TV is. So it's actually behind my computer. I have a couch over on this side of the room that I usually sit at, and Bob or Bluto or whoever sits in the recliner that I'm using to film right now. I can't even talk.
You're making sort of sense.
And I was actually sitting on the couch, and Bluto kept saying, you might want to move to the recliner because you're going to have to read some of this. And even when I play video games, I sit over in the recliner. And at first I was like, no, I'll be fine. Well, then I'm looking at the angle I was at and the way our entertainment center is set up, I was missing part of the screen. So like I said, this is a movie you're going to have to pay attention to as well, because there's going to be not only vocal stuff, but there's going to be stuff you're going to kind of have to read at certain points only because of what's going on. So basically the beginning of the movie, FYI, we just recorded this off of Stars or Showtime or something. We don't actually own the movie. It starts with like if you were logging in to your laptop, computer, or whatever at home. So it has like the background, and it just had like the person icon, and then it had question mark underneath it, and then you had to type in the password. So whoever's trying to get in the computer, we don't know who it is initially, is typing all this different stuff, and then eventually he puts question mark and it gets him logged in. So yeah, it was very weird. I mean, I don't even know what made him think to put this in, and you're thinking, okay, if this is this person's computer, why are they doing this? So
okay, hi, some
what?
I'm not real computer smart, but when after the third or fourth time it will block you?
I don't know. I mean, I know like it.
You know what I mean, right?
With it being a
you can't use it so many times.
Yeah,
it blocks you.
I'm not 100% sure on that, because like I know at work if I mess up logging in 3 times, I have to call IT to get into my computer. My personal computer.
I thought all did that, just in case somebody gets on your personal computer.
I'm not.
Right,
I'm not even. No, I'm not even sure. FYI, spoilers. I'm not really sure on that, because I usually, if I screw up once putting my password into my personal computer, I know I hit a wrong key. So, anyways, there's the guy character who's kind of, I guess, kind of one of the main characters. I think his name is Mathis. I kind of was figuring out names more as we went, and he's trying to get on Skype with this girl. Her name's Amara. She is deaf, hearing impaired, whatever you want to say.
I like how I am right now.
Why? Oh, with your ear. I forgot. Yeah.
I have an earache.
Yeah, he has an earache, fluid in the ear, so one ear's not working too well. Anyways, Mathis is trying to develop this program to communicate with her using sign language. And I'm trying to look and see. While she's there, while they're talking on Skype. I've never really used Skype, so I know what it is, but I'm not familiar with it.
I'm not computer smart.
That was the other thing we were saying, too. We were surprised by the number of things they use that are actually on the computer, like Skype, Facebook, YouTube, Safari, Wikipedia. They're showing Google, all this different stuff. So,
I'm an 80s monster.
At this point, somebody's at the door. She goes and answers the door. The computer kind of starts freezing and acting weird. And he's like, what's going on?
That is annoying.
And eventually, I think he gets disconnected from her and can't reconnect. So, anyways, eventually he ends up getting into this group session with, it's Mathis, this one guy named AJ. Damien, I think, is another one.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I have their names written down later. And then there's Nori and Serena. And Amara is actually part of this friend group as well, but she doesn't join them that night. So they kind of get together and have game night on the computer with Skyping and everything. Because
Skyping.
Damien, I think, lives in London, and everyone else is in, I don't know, whatever area. I think they're in California or something somewhere. But Damien's the only one that's overseas.
Yeah, that's the other part I didn't understand when you get to the end.
Yeah, so they're playing, if you've ever played Cards Against Humanity. So I guess they all have their own sets, and they're playing along.
Maybe you can play it.
We need like at least 4 people to play it.
What about your husband and Boris?
Yeah, maybe. It's a fun game if you've never played it. It could be flipping hilarious. I had bought a knockoff version of it, Cards for the Masses or something, that we used to use in my...
you buy a lot of knockoff stuff.
Well, it was a little more age appropriate because I was going to be playing it with teenagers in my after-school program I used to manage.
Kind of like your dog clothes.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with buying knockoffs. Anyways, the new computer keeps like kicking him off, and he's trying to get back in, and then he starts going into this other person's account. That what happens is this laptop, he found it at some cafe, and it had been in the lost and found for like months. So he decided, well, nobody was claiming it, so he claimed it. This plays in later. It's the only reason why I'm mentioning it now. But he keeps getting messages from this one Facebook account, and he's not answering them. He's just like clicking them closed, like whatever.
You know what's been funny?
What?
If anybody was supposed to find this, it'd been funny if an FBI guy found it.
Yeah. Well, you'll see why later.
Oh, maybe I missed that part. Okay.
No, I'm just saying they won't understand till...
I don't know if I fully understand, but I'm sure you will explain it really well.
So, at one point, he Mathis messages, I think, Damon, to ask about, like, I have this new computer, but it's like running weird. And he goes, something about check for cleaning, check for hidden files. So he does this scan thing. Like I said, I don't understand that part. I'm not that tech savvy.
I thought you were.
No, not some of the stuff they were doing on there. I knew what they were doing, but for me to figure out how to do that, forget it. So he ends up scanning and finds this huge file on there, and he goes to try to delete it, and it says it can't be deleted. So he starts and he messages his friend. He goes, I can't delete this file. And he goes, well, what's in it? So he starts clicking on the different thing, and there's all these videos of different people from like their webcams. And he's like, oh, I don't know. So he keeps getting these messages as well from this person who keeps saying, it's my laptop, you stole it. Basically, it kind of starts getting threatening to Mathis at that point. So he says, okay, I'll take it back. I'll leave it where I found it. And
sure
you'll be back.
I'll be back.
He tells his friends, hey, I'm going to log out. But then he gets this other message about a job. And he's like, oh, okay, what's going on? So he finds, and the person's like, well, he asked the person that messaged him, well, what's the job? And they said, not on Facebook, talk in the river. So he finds this program on the computer called the River. And it's like an old 8-bit screen, it looks like to me, of a boat. Yeah, there's a stink bug or something. Stink bug flying around.
I had that for lunch.
So there's just this boat like going down a river with like these torches on the side of the wall. Like I said, it looks like total 8-bit.
Down by the river Styx.
Yeah.
Come to the Sabbath.
Yeah. So it's going down a cave.
Name that artist.
And at this point, it says something. I think it says something about being on the dark net, or somebody says, "Oh," like he starts sharing the screen. They're like, "Oh man, you're in the dark net. You need to get out of it." Going on. So this person starts messaging him once he's in this river program, about doing something to someone. He explains, tells the person what the procedure is. I mean, they look it up. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I don't know if I could even pronounce it. But basically, they wanted him to take somebody alive, drill a hole in their head.
Ouch.
And while they're alive, put something in there. And they were going to offer him...
I wonder what he would put in there.
Like $10 million or something for this. And they're like, oh my God, you know, this is like dark web shit. This
What would
is
you put in there?
I don't even know. So, like the friends are seeing this and like, oh my God, you gotta, you know, go to the last video. So that he eventually finds the last video, and it shows this person in dark clothing with a hoodie over their head breaking into this young girl's bedroom. And then the person's kind of looking around, and then all of a sudden he goes over to where a camera is and lifts the hoodie up so you can see like this part of his face. Or it might have been this part. But anyways, you can see part of his face. And they're like, why is he doing that? Why is he intentionally looking at the camera and going on? So in the middle of all this, he's getting a call from Amaya. I kept writing her name.
Death Girl.
Yeah. So he tells everybody, oh, hold on. Amaya's calling me. So he flips over, but it's just a screenshot and nobody's sitting in the chair or anything. And he's like, okay, what's going on there? Well, then Amaya's roommate friend Kelly comes walking in, and Mathis is like, hey, Kelly, like trying to get her attention. And she comes over and she's sitting stuff down. She goes, oh, yeah, hi. And she's like, what's going on? And like, he's just talking. He goes, I don't know. The thing dialed me and I didn't know what was going on. Well, then all of a sudden this person in dark clothing with a hoodie over their face comes up from behind Kelly and we think kills her. Not 100% sure.
Oh, he killed her.
Well,
oh, yeah.
Not according to what he says later. But anyway.
You believe him?
No.
You believe everything?
No. So the person in the hoodie starts typing to Mathis. So like I said, this is kind of where you have to, you know, be able to read. Listen to me.
And I like
be in a position to read as well. Because he's basically, and like the whole time, like the screen's like cutting in and out. It's so bizarre.
I don't like that.
So, I was adjusting my butt skipping
up. Fall.
So, they start, it's breaking out the whole time and all that. And the person basically says, I want my laptop back. And then he starts going on like, you can't call the police. You have to keep your friends online. You can't disconnect. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to get the laptop back to you if I can't disconnect? And the guy goes, you need to get her, meaning Amaya, to come to him. Meanwhile, they're fighting. So everything this dude said basically starts disappearing off the screen, so you don't even know he's there. This is like next level hacking shit. So everyone in the group, because he kind of muted them at this point, so everyone in the group's yelling like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know. Mathis has to find a way to keep everybody on the computer with him as well. So, and he also has to, at this point, convince Amaya to come over. So he tells all his friends, like, hey, guess what? It's a game. You know, it's game night. So Damien knew about this, and Damien's like, what are you talking about, dude? I have no clue what you're talking about. So, because the hacker also said he says he can hear and see everything that's going on as well. And Bluto's looking for the
button. Sorry. I know
you're looking for dessert.
Yep. Well, you get a drink.
Yep. So the next thing. So Nori comes up. FYI, I forgot to mention this. Nori and Serena are a couple. They're engaged. They're a gay couple. Not that really matters, but
it does not really add to the plot.
Yeah, it doesn't really add to the plot other than something that happens later, but it's not like it's crucial or anything. But Nori says that last video is of this missing girl, Erica Duncan, I think her name is. Dunn. I don't know why I said Duncan. Dunn. And Mathis also kind of figures it out as well. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's just a game. It was just a video I found somewhere.
I want some donuts.
It's National Donut Day today.
I know, I saw that. And
Oh.
you said Dunkin'.
Oh.
So you have to give me some donuts tomorrow.
It won't be Donut Day anymore.
Well, you have to go out tonight and get them. But we're done.
Yeah.
Go give me some donuts.
So all of a sudden this transfer comes in from Bitcoin. Or no, they transferred the money over to this person's account that's supposed to have this laptop. Well, Mathis thinks he's being smart. So he eventually, like, he puts everybody on mute and he's like, hey, basically I want insurance. So watch this, you jerk. And he transfers like $10 million from Bitcoin into his Bitcoin account. And he said, the money will go back to you once Amaya, I keep wanting to change her name, is safe and Erica is safe. Well, the hacker ends up doing like a Skype, FaceTime, whatever with him. And he's all blurred out at first. And all of a sudden, the river thing is still running.
River Styx.
Yeah. And it's saying recite the code or something. And he's like, dude, they want me to recite this code. And he goes, well, the hacker was like, well, they're going to wonder why I transferred so much money so quickly, you know. And eventually he actually shows himself. He takes his hoodie off, doesn't have the scramble thing on his face. Just looks like this regular dude.
Regular dude.
I guess it's the best way to put it.
Dude, oh,
and he's like, well, what? And Mathis is like, what do you want me to tell him? Not that dude.
Oh, I was thinking of that.
And he was saying, like, just tell him I did this because I moved it to here because there's a higher exchange rate or something. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, recite this code. And the Mathis is like, what's this code? And they keep saying it. And he goes, oh, man, they're on. The racker's like, we're on to us. We're both dead. You know, everyone's dead. We're all screwed. So eventually he tells them what the code is. So he types it in. And then the river disconnects. They're like, I don't even know if they say just go ahead and finish the job or whatever.
Whatever.
So basically, Mathis and this hacker, I guess, have a mutual interest of getting things completed so that nobody dies.
Yeah, right.
So, anyways, the friends start figure things out. Like
friends start figure things out.
The friends are oh no, there is one more person I forgot to mention. It's only because Nikki, I think her name is. I can't remember. But the people coming in are named Charon, which is something with Greek mythology. I can't remember exactly what it's. Something with the River Styx and death.
River Styx, you know.
And all. Oh, isn't he the oh God, my Greek mythology is escaping me right now.
I'll sing. Welcome.
He's not the person that transports on the boat. Anyways, so all of a sudden, like this Sharon, somebody, a few of them join in.
You got me singing songs in my head now.
And then they start. Lexi was another friend of theirs. I forgot to mention. Start doing all the stuff where they pull up Lexi's Facebook page and all this information, and then all of a sudden they show her address. And they're like, oh my God, and everybody's trying to call Lexi, and they're like, Lexi hasn't been back on, what's going on? Well, all of a sudden it shows this video over by where Lexi lives, and there's this person up on the rooftop, and there's these people just video like, oh, what's going on, what's going on?
Who videoed it?
I think there was just a couple random people walking by.
Okay, well, I have some questions about this when you're done.
Okay.
Remind me.
So they're like, what's going on? Well, then all of a sudden one of the hacker people that's like disassociating, like breaking up or whatever, comes behind Lexi and pushes her off the roof, and Lexi's dead.
I guess.
So everyone's kind of freaking out at this point because they're like, okay, this is the game. Is this real? So eventually Mathis is able to convince Amaya to come to him. The other hacker dude's like, okay, I'm following her. Once I get my laptop, she will be safe. At some point, they lose the internet connection. Like, Amaya loses internet connection with everybody. So Mathis tells them what's going on, but they need to keep playing normal, like acting normal. They can't know what's going on. So they go back to playing the card game. Yeah, I have Damien. Damien's in one in England, so we're good. So...
leave a comment who sings that.
What?
Down by the river Styx.
Oh.
See if anybody
So,
knows. That's not the name of the song, but you get it.
anyways, they're all sitting there still talking, and they're like, well, how long till Amaya gets to you? And at one point, the subway breaks down, and she's down around Western Boulevard. So, at one point, you see Nori kind of leaving the screen, and they say something, she's not feeling well, so she went to the bathroom. So in the middle of all this, like AJ's this goofy guy that lives in his mom's basement, basically.
Oh,
but he basically has like a YouTube page and some other things, and says and does some things. Well, he starts freaking out because they start going on his page and basically lets him know that AJ knows this isn't a game. So they start flipping through all these YouTube videos he does, doing little snippets of stuff, and eventually a telephone screen comes up on the screen. That makes really a lot of sense. And it dials 911, and it says 911, what's your emergency? And they piece together something like, I have assault weapons and I'm going to go do so. I can't remember what.
You better not say that.
What? That's what it said on there.
Some people do that with this channel.
Yeah. Oh, well. I need a vacation, so.
I don't want to get in trouble.
But AJ starts freaking out, and he's like, that call was made 10 minutes ago, and they're all yelling at him, grab your mom and get out of there. All of a sudden, the police bust in upstairs. So AJ's like, hands up, being down. They're like, AJ, lay on the ground, lay on the ground. Well, the computer's still doing all this stuff, and AJ's like trying to make his way over to the stairs to say, hey, you know, I'm not armed. Well, here, before the police kick in the basement door, the hackers do these, like a loading gun sound effect. So naturally, when the police kick open the door, they just shoot AJ.
Cool.
It was kind of like, you're sitting there like, oh my God, what the hell? So AJ is now out of the game. So
he lost the game.
Next, they somehow, I think they lose.
That's what we should do.
Amaya loses internet connection again. So they ask, I think Mathis asked, where's Nori? And she goes, she went to the subway to get Amaya. Meanwhile, you're not supposed to leave the house. And then it comes back on. They start hacking Serena's computer. And they're showing some footage from earlier in the evening, discussing their engagement, discussing how Nori's family doesn't accept the fact of her being a lesbian and some other stuff. And Serena was talking about her mom being on life support at the hospital. And
they say it was hospital?
No.
Well, I didn't know that was her.
They know. The dark web knows. So
lazy writing.
The others also know about the missing laptop at this point. So basically, at one point, they mute Damon and Mathis, and they just zero in on Serena. And they put up on the screen a camera showing Nori at the subway station, standing by the tracks, and a picture of apparently her mother in the hospital room on life support.
They put cameras in hospitals?
Well, apparently there might have been something they could hack to get the video. So maybe. So they basically tell Serena she needs to choose who lives.
Choose a form.
And so obviously she starts losing it. They count down from 30. She doesn't choose anyone. Nori gets pushed into front of the subway car. No surprise.
Convenient that person was standing right there.
And then mom's life support gets shut off. Beep. And mom dies.
And nobody comes in after the beep.
So, yeah, which is really, really strange. But
this whole movie is strange.
Yeah, well, Serena was kind of like freaking out at this point. Well, then one of the hackers comes in behind her, and she kind of gets up, and they kill her off screen. I think she falls back in front of the camera. Yeah. So, anyways, Mathis starts trying to figure out like how to protect Amaya, and he's like, Damon, you should be safe. Damon. He should be safe because he's over in London. They're attacking us here and so forth. So Mathis signs to Amaya about danger and says about them meeting at a park or something where they had their first kiss. So Mathis says, I got to go to her. I got to make sure she's safe. And Damon goes, that's fine. I'm backing up the files. I have all the other stuff. You know, he's trying to get all this evidence together. So Mathis leaves his apartment. Damien's alone, and he talks to the hackers. And basically what happens is Damien's going, you're going to be busted. We got the files downloaded. We got this. We got that. And then eventually he figures out they were set up. Yeah, they were set up by these hackers to find the computer, to do all this and everything.
What are the odds of everything working?
For them to take the fall regarding the missing girl, Erica, who they show an image at one point of one of the hackers taking Erica into Mathis's apartment after he's gone, and she's left in the closet.
What if that guy wouldn't have went for all that? What if that guy was like, I'll give you a killer?
Yeah.
Would be funny if he did that. They'd be like,
Damien's trying to figure out what to do and how to warn Mathis. And in the middle of all this, eventually this Erica wakes up. She goes over to Mathis's computer, which is still up. And she has a bandage on her head, like here. And she's like, hello, my name's Erica Dunn. I've been kidnapped. And she's trying to go on. And well, then she pulls the Band-Aid off and she has this hole in her head. And blood's coming out.
What do you feel if you had a hole in your head?
I don't know if she was drugged up or what, and she kind of screams. And,
I want those kind of drugs.
Yeah, so I don't know if she like dies or anything because they don't really do anything else with that. Because then they gotta go to Damien's screen, and he's basically, there's a hacker there, takes a rope, has him hang himself, and he writes basically a suicide note that my friends and I did something really bad. I'm sorry, Damien.
How did they get in there? How did they know where he lived?
How did they do anything?
Exactly.
So Mathis is trying to get to Amaya. And she messages to him, I'm outside the building. And he's like, what are you talking about? I told you to go to the park where we had our first kiss. And she goes, no, you sent me a pin with other coordinates or something. So she eventually goes in and she's taken care of. Because, she doesn't hear him coming, obviously. So at this point, Mathis is the only one alive. So up on the screen comes this question. Should Mathis live? And it's voting yes or no. So it runs for, I don't know, like 2 minutes or something, calculating all the votes. Well, then once everything's said and done, it said no, he should not live.
What you voted?
I don't know.
I put no.
So all of a sudden, this van comes by, runs him over, and that's it for him.
How did he get there that fast?
Yeah. So, anyways, he gets run over by the van, and basically what it comes down to at this point, all these hackers start showing up on all these different screens, and it keeps coming away from like the main hackers page, and here across it had game night 14, I think it is, and XIV. So basically they were playing a game with them.
So we play a game.
I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice now. Like I said, I did like this movie. As far as rewatch, I don't think I would watch it again, but I'm going to explain why. Because it's one of these things, like, it's one of these movies I classify that you can only watch once, and it's because you know everything that's going to happen. Not that you don't know.
Twice.
Well, yeah, that was you. But it's not, for me, I have certain movies, like, once they're kind of, like, when you're figuring out stuff like this, I just feel they're not a high rewatch value. And, like, another movie I could think about like that is The Game with Sean Penn and who else is in that? Who else? Michael Douglas. That's what I want to say.
Watch that movie instead.
I love that movie as well, but it's one of those ones because I know what's happened.
But if you want to say that to us, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones I just feel I can't watch again.
I'll watch it.
Not that I don't watch other movies on repeat, but it's just like some of these, like a movie like this, because you know exactly what's going to happen anyways.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't remember.
I don't know if I'm really explaining it right, but
watch The Game.
Yeah, The Game is a good movie. I will tell you. I don't remember it, but maybe I should watch it again.
You just did against what you said.
I don't remember most of it, but it's like I remember what happens at the end. So,
okay,
and what it's about.
Well, yeah.
So, but I mean, like I said, I just have some movies like I feel like you can watch them once because that's where you get the aha moment, I guess, or whatever.
Like The Nun.
No.
Aha! This is stupid.
Yeah. So, like I said, if you're curious, there is a movie called Unfriended that was before this. I thought we had actually watched it, and we didn't.
I said no.
I kind of confused it, I think, with the movie Friend Request. I don't know why I was confusing the two of them.
No, we are not doing that.
But it sounds like,
I don't like that.
The original Unfriended is similar to this, but more of a supernatural experience. So I guess it's kind of like along the same lines with the computer screen the whole time. So
confusing.
Anywho, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, bell icon so you know when we post new content. Hopefully when we do more videos, I will have my voice back. Share the page. It would be greatly appreciated. Amazon wishlist if you want to check it out. If there's something you want us to review and you're willing to get it for us, let me know. I will add it to the wish list so we can get it, give you a shout out. Share the page. I think that's it because I'm really losing my voice. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.